telling us even they are feeling the way. At the moment, the lockdowns are still fresh, and one will have to see how things pan out. Anecdotal evidence is that people will order in more, and the QSRs should be doing brisk business. But let's see. At the moment, someone is not doing brisk business, and those are the bulls. The market's worn off or taken down the gains rather rapidly. And at the moment, we started off at 1:1. One in the green for one in the red. Now we are staring at 2.5 in the red for one in the green in terms of the ratio of advances to decliners. And a goodish bit of selling has actually come in the mid-cap space. That's down about 0.75. It's not any less in the Nifty Bank, because the Nifty Bank at one point in time had even touched a near 1% gain. It is now 0.1 down. So that's another 1% that has been shaved off. And the Sensex and the Nifty at one point were up 1/3%. Now they are down 0.5%. So the pendulum has quite clearly swung a little sharply as we approach 10 and try and get you the trades at 10. Joining us now is Mitesh Thakkar yet again. Morning again, Mitesh. Is there a Nifty trade now? This is looking so tough.
Morning, Lata. See, I think I would still want to trade the Bank Nifty via buying the put options. So I think that still looks like a better trade to me. The index is weak, but I was looking at possibly, if in case we would have got a gap up opening of about 100 points close to 14,650, would have taken some future short positions. So while both the indices look slightly on the weaker side to me, I think right now if I was to trade, I would want to trade in the Bank Nifty put options and possibly, buy into a 31,000 put option around 500 rupees, take a 100-point stop loss, and in case the Bank Nifty declining trade works out, then I think would want to book this option around 800-point mark. Having said that, the calls which I have right now, two sell calls, Grasim, that's sell with a stop at 1370 for targets of 1300, and ICICI GI is a sell with a stop at 1362 for targets of 1300.
Mitesh, just wanted your thoughts once again on Infosys, because it's now down almost 3.5%. For a long-term investor, at what point does Infosys become a good buy?
I think, one, very clearly the long-term charts and the medium-term charts for the stocks are for the stock are very strong. So I think there is no worry on the bigger term trends. In the short term, yes, the stock has had a good run-up. Seems to be some profit booking. There was hope and expectation build-up. So the idea to buy on decline should be there. For Infosys, I would possibly look at anything close to about 1250. So another, let's say, 8-9% dip from here would be a very welcome opportunity for people to buy into this one.
Okay, thank you very much, Mitesh, for joining us with all your stock trading strategies at 10. Market's in a difficult spot at this point in time, but even the red has not stayed as red. By the time we finished our chat with Mitesh, the mid-caps have moved from a 0.8 minus to a 0.4 minus. So it's an extremely volatile day, and our reporters are bringing in flashes thick and fast. They will flash for you. A lot of hospitals have been told to take over nearby hotels in Mumbai, and Bombay Hospital is going to operate the Intercontinental at Marine Drive, for those of you who are familiar, and the HN Reliance Foundation Hospital is going to operate Trident BKC as a step-down facility. Additional 250 COVID beds in Jaslock is been arranged. In addition to this, 30 more ICU beds are being added to Seven Hills, Kambala today. Then the jumbo facility at Nesco will also see 1,500 beds being added, but that will take 7 days. They're mostly oxygenated beds. That will happen in a week. All those flashes will come up for you. Very important ones coming from Bombay Municipal Corporation about the hotels they've identified which are going to be taken by nearby hospitals. And the big ones, as you can see, are Bombay Hospital taking over Intercontinental at Marine Drive, and RN Reliance Foundation taking over Trident BKC. Facility at Nesco, the jumbo facility which BMC is putting up, is going to be ready in 7 days, mostly oxygenated beds. So all these are very important flashes coming for you. Well, one hopes the vaccination had not gone lax. That was the big pain that we heard from India Inc., and I guess every citizen would say much the same. Here's some opinion we got from Niranjan Hiranandani, the co-founder and managing director of Hiranandani Group, when we spoke with him yesterday, immediately after all those vaccine policy changes.
The problem has been addressed. I think the Chief Minister has said very categorically that those construction workers which are there on the sites, or they are in the factory premises or adjoining the factory premises, and they are taken care of, there will be no reverse migration. So as of my information today, construction workers have not been, there is no reverse migration yet of the construction workers. Construction workers have not started moving back in maybe small number, but that usually happens during this season because they go back for the farming, for the sheti in their residential area. We supply vaccines to the whole world, but we do not have vaccines for ourselves. I think this is a failure. And I think somewhere down the line, if we had vaccinated more people today, this problem would not have taken place. So I think there's a failure of vaccination. Number three, that as far as the hospital situation is concerned, we are in dire states. I also run a hospital and I have no beds, either in the ICU or availability for additional bed or patient. But for other hospitals, they don't have oxygen and they're not getting adequate medicines for themselves. Very easy to improve the physical infrastructure. Add beds, add mattresses, add equipment, get everything else, and maybe over a period of time also the oxygen. But it's not so easy to get doctors and nurses of adequate qualification and competency to manage extensively these things.
Okay, an infrastructure failure over there, no supply of vaccines, but the situation is getting resolved by the day, so hopefully things will progress fast. But let's do one thing, let's focus on the commodity space, because over there's been a big spike in aluminum prices, in fact metal prices across the board. Manisha Gupta, our commodities editor, is here with us to give us the latest on that. Manisha, hi.
Hi, Sonia. Thank you, Wesley. Yes, I'm focusing on aluminum because we've seen nearly 2% of gains overnight, and the prices on LME are trading at a 3-year highs. If you look at the Shanghai aluminum prices, these are the highest since 2011. Actually, when you look at the month of March, we saw the volumes also highest since 2017. The open interest was at record highs. There is a lot of interest in aluminum at this point in time because you have seen lower supply of aluminum and scrap. The concerns really seem to be coming in from China, where there are expectations that you could be looking at 100,000 tons of aluminum supply being hit as China is looking at curtailing its carbon emissions. China produces 58% of global aluminum, and that is the reason every news and report that you see come out of China does have an impact on aluminum there. Also, when you look at the soaring shipping cost, logistic bottlenecks and tight supplies in the international markets and lower supplies from mines as well, that is also finding its way into prices. I want to get that chart on your screens where it talks about the aluminum in global markets in sense of production and consumption. When you look at both of these numbers, you realize that since 2016, the consumption numbers have been higher than the production numbers. So whether it has been about 2018 or 19, we have seen consumption increase or higher by nearly 4 to 7% as well in some of those years. And that tells you that the deficit has continued for the last 4 years and may just about continue for 2021 as well. And that has been supportive for aluminum as a sector. Trading strategies, and we spoke to SMC. They have a couple of buy calls in commodities. The choice of commodities that they have is natural gas, upside targets of 201 for that. And they have a buying call in lead in case of metal prices. 168.5 on the higher side is what they're expecting on the charts today.
Okay, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. But why